designated the Deputy Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Numadoria. And our mission is to establish 1,000 bilateral trade agreements with underserved kingdoms and nations throughout the diaspora. Building the bridge for sustainability and to help address the net zero by 2050 agenda. Our communities that's underserved do not have the capacity to meet those regulatory requirements and commitments signed by 198 nations under COMP 28 and COMP 29. COMP 28 was about transitioning the GDP of these 198 nations to net zero by 2050. COMP 28.9 was about establishing a carbon credit exchange, cap and trade, to be able to stabilize and offset that cost. So what we put together is a global carbon emissions reduction program, Journey to Net Zero Sustainability by 2050 campaign. And we're going in to support those underserved emerging markets to give them and bring them the capacity necessary to prepare and position them to become vested in their own revitalization. We will do that through our bilateral trade agreements, coming in, establishing a 1,000 acre smart city, tokenized net zero supply chain and human capital task management protocol framework to help them train, certify the citizens to become participants in their own revitalization. We see a sustainable household creates a sustainable community, creates a sustainable nation. When you start looking at and identifying and quantifying the human capital skill sets of individuals and start to put a value on that human capital to be put on their personal digital ledgers so they can come to the marketplace with strength and understanding of their value in the production and trade of net zero goods, services, and those carbon credits by 2050. So what we're doing is with those 1,000 bilateral trade agreements, we're going in and we're doing two assessments, a community asset-based assessment to identify the human capital, natural resources within that community so we can tokenize it to be able to track it in real time as we start to mitigate the environmental issues that we identify, quantify, and then put a value on it based on the contributions of our collaborators that can address those environmental issues that impact their social economic being and how we govern that transformational process. Now, when we put that on a tokenized platform, we tracking everything in real time. That allows us now to certify everyone's participation on our digital ledgers. And now we're able to create effective and efficient financing mechanisms to be able to address the capitalization necessary to serve that cost to develop. Now, my background is architecture, 45 years designing structures. Mechanical engineering, designing the heating and air cooling system, which consists of 35, your buildings create 40% of your carbon emissions. And then industrial design engineering, the Westinghouse, where now I create new organic raw materials, advanced materials for our fifth industrial revolution, where we now creating a circular net zero bioeconomy ecosystem to be able to cost effectively decentralize the supply chain and the human capital necessary to deliver those net zero goods and services and carbon credits to be procured by the regional businesses, the local, state, federal government agencies, procurement requirements to reach net zero by 2050. And when we do that and tie that into our tokenized smart contracts for 25 years, why 25 years? To show your commitment to reach that 2050 benchmark. Now we can systematically see, understand, and see our impact and progress towards meeting our benchmarks and obligations. So when we see this presentation, nanoplastics, we have to look at how we take the waste streams, because the waste is drowning our community. The waste streams now become the feedstock for creating a circular net zero bioeconomy. Because then we can collect that waste streams, process it using nanotechnologies, biotech, all of the new technologies necessary to create these raw materials for that fifth industrial framework, using AI-based algorithms for producing those net zero goods and services for B2B, B2C, B2G, creating a total circular paradigm. And we do this on a regional market that consists of a 100-mile radius, creating a 100-mile radius circular economy, stabilizing that emerging market to now be able to sustain itself as well as trade its surplus to its neighbors in its global community. Now you are tying the people, so we call this a people-driven, public-private philanthropy, partnership, agreement, collaboration. When everyone is involved, we bring in trust, accountability to the whole production and trade framework. And this is how we solve it. Thank you.